Well, that Russell Targ that I told you about earlier on, you've got to watch Third Eye Spies. It's called. Fantastic documentary.
Yeah.
And he found one of his remote viewers. They asked him to look at an area. In fact, I think there was 3 in this particular piece. 3 remote viewers. They split them up, and they asked one of them, or asked all of them, to remote view, and they gave them coordinates. And these coordinates were of it was a log cabin that was somewhere in the woods. So they all came back, and they all pointed out this. I think it was a water tower they pointed out, and these are 3 separate water purification areas, and all 3 of them came back with very similar drawings. And they went, no, that's not it at all. That's not what we want. And then one of them said, well, this was the biggest thing that I could see around that area, and I naturally presumed that you thought this. I thought this is what you wanted to look at. And then this Russell Targ, he said it went on a couple of months, and it made him curious as to why all 3 came back with the same thing. And then he started researching the whole area, and it was 30 years before, I'm paraphrasing now, so that could be wrong, quite a few years before, in that area, there was a water tower with a water purification plant, and they'd seen something that was 30 years old that isn't there anymore.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
So, but if you get a chance to look at it, please do. It's Third Eye Spies with Russell Targ. He's a fascinating man.
Yeah, I will look into that. So they were basically glimpsing into the past then?
Yeah, they were looking into the past. Fascinating.
Have you seen the videos of the guy, I think it's David, isn't it? Biago, a time traveller.
No, I haven't.
I have to try and find his videos. He reckons he did loads of experience with the FBI going back into the past, stuff with him, the machine. David Biago, he actually ran for president at one point, but he never actually got anywhere. But he did. I'll try and find out dig out the information about him. But he did loads of trips to the past and stuff. And he says sometimes they went to the past, other people were doing it, and they come back and they'd be like deformed after it. There was something would go wrong and stuff like that. And it's very interesting. I watch a lot of his videos, and he always says the same things. He reckons he's been photographed at Lincoln's some speech or something. He was a little boy in it, and he reckons it was him. So I don't know again if it's true or not, but I'm just saying what he said. I'll try and find out the information. I'll forward it to you.
No, are you talking about David? Or what? He's the one that used to be on Ancient Astronauts, skinny blonde-headed guy?
He's older now. I don't know if he had blonde hair back then. He's older, 70s or odd now, I'd say.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's
maybe
not him.
Could have been him.
Not him. Wrong guy. There's another guy that was really big on what you're talking about. He's the blonde-headed guy off of Ancient Astronauts that he has his own YouTube channels and stuff now, and he got hooked up with Goya and everything, and he's into like the secret space program and things like that. So that's who I was thinking you might have been talking about.
That sounds like David Wilcox.
David Wilcox. There you go. That's it. Yeah, that's who I thought you might have been referring to, because he's into a lot of that stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'm fine when it comes to people being able to see visions and stuff like that. But with a lot of that, though, you do have to be careful, because I've done a lot of research when it comes to people involved in talking about like the secret space program and everything, and there's quite a bit of mental health issues going on there too, you know what I mean? So just kind of use discernment when you go through and you listen to people, and make sure that you're not getting carried into something you don't want to be a part of, you know what I mean? Because there is there's some people that discuss that stuff I really have sympathy for, because they don't understand that they have mental illness, and even if they did go through the situations that they're discussing, there would still be mental illness there because of the trauma they've been through. You know what I mean? So you gotta just be careful when it comes to that stuff.
I'd imagine as well, if you got people that do go into the past, if they vision it, it could affect them quite in a big way mentally as well. Could affect their mental health. I don't, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I just think it would. I really don't think it would. Because, don't really know why. I just got a feeling it would really could affect them mentally as well in a big way.
Yeah,
I think it could affect them.
it wouldn't surprise me. And when you just said then about people were coming back and they were disabled, that sounded like a Philadelphia experiment. Have you ever looked into that?
Yeah, I've heard of that as well. Yeah.
That was quite interesting because Nikola Tesla was involved in that, and Albert Einstein after Tesla left, I believe. But that's quite an interesting read as well.
Yeah, they were coming back, like he said. Well, not one as graphic as the Philadelphia experiment, because they're supposed to be like sailors like fused into the ship and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This was more like they come back and they'd be missing their leg, part of the leg and stuff like that. Would be like part of themselves got left behind. It's something like that. It was. I can't remember the story now. It's been years since I've seen it. It was really at the start when I formed Wonderful World of Illness. Before I actually created my videos, I was watching all these videos. It was part of the core reason why I started, I suppose. Got me into all of that. I just can't remember that. I can see the guy now. His glasses. I can see him now. It's Biago or something. Sure, it's him. I will find it.
There's a lot of people too that end up having physical ailments too, like having issues with their freaking health, where their health has literally declined real bad, and they're having to go to doctors over problems with their kidneys or their freaking bladder. I mean, tons of reports of that, where it just literally damages their body.
Yeah. So we're not designed to time travel as human beings. So spiritually, yes, we can go anywhere we want, but as human beings, we're not designed to go to do that or even view it. Even we're not really. We're designed to be in the present. You know, really, aren't we? As a people, as a race. I mean. So.
I've developed an ability to log situations and information and put it in a pigeonhole and I don't believe nor disbelieve, I just know, and then 20 years later I can pull that piece of information out and say, but this guy said so and so and so, so that would, and as soon as I mention something, everybody thinks, so you believe that, do you? I go, no, it's just something that I've heard in the past that is rigged and it's connected with this somehow. I'm not saying it's right or wrong or indifferent. I'm just saying it's a piece of information I've come across. Because normally people either believe something or disbelieve it. If they disbelieve it, they never mention it again. And if they do believe it, they mention it. I don't, after 17 years, I've ceased to work like that. I just log it as seen.
I'm like that. I tend not to believe or disbelieve. I don't know. It interests me. That's what I don't say. Anyone say, you believe that? I said, no, I don't believe anything. I said, that's just how I perceive it. You know, It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Like I said about my connection, I don't believe I've got a connection. I could say I might know I got one, or I could just say I perceive that I've got a connection. I don't believe or disbelieve, just I perceive it. So it's totally different. I think. Then so you find with people who religion. Then it's you believe in that religion. Then that is you need belief for that because it's a religion. It's different. But for things like we're talking about, you just be open to them, and then just either they click with you or they don't. That's why
so many people are not open at all. They're totally closed off.
Yeah.
When it comes to the perception thing, I think the best example I've seen was, I don't know if you guys seen it before, but the girl that played on Resident Evil in the movies, she played a part of a psychologist in Nome, Alaska. And she did hypnosis with people who were supposed to have been abducted by UFOs or aliens, and everybody that she did these hypnosis therapy with always reported seeing owls. Okay, now they turn around and they'd see these owls, and what they really were, it was a subconscious image that was put into their mind to make them see an owl instead of an alien. Well, you could make it out like it was an alien, but there's also accounts of the skinwalker where the skinwalker makes it appear that he is an owl. Okay, so when it comes to perceptions, it's who are you looking at it from? Are you looking at it from somebody in Nome, Alaska, or are you looking at an Indian who's living on the Hopi reservation? You know what I mean? That owl would mean one thing to one person, where it would mean one thing to another person entirely. So it goes in a lot of different directions, you know, and you have to be open-minded about it. Can't just discount everything, because it can really mess you up.
I agree with that, because I'm saying about how I perceive stuff to me now as a person in 2024. Now, if I've experienced this 100 years ago, how would I perceive it then? You know, it'd be just different, because your conditioning of the area you live in back then, the society you live in, what your beliefs are, the society, everything influences you. Whereas now it's still around, but it's sort of different. And if it 200 years ago I had the same things happening to me now, I'd be different again, because I'd have a different perception to it. If I was an Egyptian, again, you know, it's all going to be, it could be the same thing that everyone's seeing or experiencing, but because of a mental outlook, our conditioning sometimes, in the world we're in, it's never going to be the same, you know, if you look at that, you know, from the past to the future, or even from individual to individual. You know, if all three of us experience exactly the same things, we're going to view it differently because of our upbringing and where we are in the world, you know, as well. So
this whole thing about perception, this is the reason that there's good mediums and average mediums. Because the conscious mind tends to twist things that you see, and there's a lot of experiments that have been done on this to prove it. It twists things that you see to make sense. Well, that's the good mediums. They don't try to make sense. They just tell you the nonsense that they're being told or feeling. Whereas the mediums that are still learning, they try to twist it so that it makes sense, and because it doesn't make sense to them, they've twisted it into something that it isn't. And that perception thing is a big thing in everybody's life. Everybody twists everything. You talk to somebody that I know somebody that's obviously had some trauma as they were growing older, and I don't know what it is, but they twist everything, every situation to be against them. And you have to say, no, that's not the situation, because we notoriously we judge our future from our past. Whatever situation we've been in, we think if the same type of thing turns up again, it's not that way.